The story begins when Kyosuke Kasaka runs into his younger sister Kirino in the hallway and discovers a magical girl anime DVD that includes an erotic game focused on the little sister theme. Kirino confesses that the game is hers after Kyosuke confronts her about it, but he reassures her that it's not weird to have such a hobby and offers his support. Later that night, Kirino shows Kyosuke her collection of erotic games and anime, admitting that she has a fondness for the little sister genre but is unsure how it started. Since she has never had anyone to share her hobby with, Kirino asks Kyosuke to play one of her erotic games and give his unbiased opinion, as well as keep it a secret from their parents. After realizing that Kirino has no one to share her hobbies with, Kyosuke turns to his friend Minami Tamura for advice. Minami suggests that Kirino should try to make some otaku friends, and so Kirino joins an online community. She then gets invited to attend an otaku tea party held in a maid cafe in Akihabara but struggles to communicate with other members. Eventually, she is approached by Saori Vagina and Kuroniko, who engage her in a passionate debate about their favorite anime. After spending the day shopping in Akihabara, they decide to stay in touch through messages while Kyosuke finishes the game that Kirino had asked him to play. As Kirino spends more time with Saori and Kuroniko, she is amazed to learn that they do not have to hide their hobbies from others. Later that day, Kirino's father discovers her secret and becomes upset with her. Kirino is saddened that her hobby has been deemed worthless, and runs away, prompting Kyosuke to chase after her. After observing that Kirino has no intention of abandoning her passion, Kyosuke defends her in front of their father. Despite allowing Kirino to continue pursuing her hobby, their father still has concerns about the erotic game Kirino had been seen with, so Kyosuke claims that they belong to him, resulting in him receiving a punch in the face. Kirino expresses her gratitude to Kyosuke, who is surprised by her unexpected display of cuteness. On the next day, Kyosuke seeks advice from Saori while playing a beat-em-up eroge game that Kirino made him play. Later on, as Kirino's school friends arrive for a gathering, she receives a package from Saori, not realizing it contains erotic doujinshi. Kyosuke tries to stop Kirino from opening the package in front of her friends, but his attempt backfires and makes things even more awkward. One of Kirino's friends, Ayase Aragaki, apologizes to Kyosuke on Kirino's behalf and gives him her phone number. In an effort to make amends, Kirino demands that Kyosuke takes her, Saori, and Kuroniko to the summer Comiket event. Kuroniko wins a special data disc for Kirino in a beat-em-up contest, but as they leave the Comiket, Ayase spots them and suspects that Kirino is keeping a secret. She pressures her to reveal it, eventually discovering her hobby, and decides that they cannot be friends anymore. Kyosuke then notices that Kirino is feeling down and tries to counsel Ayase about the situation, but Ayase is hesitant to reconcile because she has seen reports of crimes related to Kirino's hobby. After seeking advice from his father, Kyosuke learns the truth about the news reports and finds that there is no evidence of erotic doujinshi influencing criminal behavior. He updates Ayase on his findings while Kirino expresses her love for her hobby and her friends, but Ayase still refuses to make up with Kirino. Kyosuke then creates a false impression that he influenced Kirino's interest in her hobby, which makes Ayase apologize to Kirino. Later, Ayase thanks Kyosuke for his help but warns him not to do anything inappropriate with Kirino. The next day, Minami invites Kyosuke to her house to taste some Halloween sweets made by her family's shop. One of Kyosuke's friends points out their close relationship, but Kyosuke denies any romantic involvement even though he won't allow any other guy to date her. Kyosuke then helps Minami's family prepare for the Halloween event and decides to stay overnight. Minami's grandpa tricks them into sharing a room, leading to a conversation where Kyosuke admits that he would reject a confession to maintain his peaceful lifestyle. Meanwhile, Kirino becomes frustrated that Kyosuke is staying over at Minami's house. She reads Kuroniko's fanfiction and decides to write her own. After submitting her novel online, Kirino receives a potential publishing offer. To find inspiration for her next novel, she drags Kyosuke around the city on Christmas Eve and convinces him to buy her earrings, claiming they are for emotional support. When Kyosuke accuses her of being selfish, she pours water over herself to prove otherwise. They go to a hotel so Kirino can shower and change, and then continue their walk. Kyosuke feels closer to Kirino as he sees her happy smile wearing the earrings he bought her. Some time passes and Kirino's editor tells her that her novel may be adapted into an anime due to its popularity. Excited, she brings Saori and Kirino to the anime staff meeting, but is surprised when the staff request many changes, including switching the lead character's gender. Kirino becomes exhausted and collapses after returning home, so Kyosuke attends the next meeting on her behalf. He pleads with the staff to reconsider Kirino's decisions, while Kirino provides both supportive and opposing opinions. Eventually, the staff agrees to some of their requests. Kyosuke then asks Kirino and Saori to keep his involvement a secret from Kirino, to which they agree. Kirino later receives a highly anticipated erotic game in the mail and spends the whole day playing it, even though she initially feels annoyed when a character is distant towards her. Meanwhile, Kyosuke, who is studying in the adjacent room, is bothered by Kirino's loud and interactive behavior while playing the game. In the meantime, Kirino takes care of her younger sister, and Saori organizes a maid-themed party for Kirino and Kirino. The next day, Ayase asks Kyosuke for advice on what present she can give to Kirino to make up with her after Kirino got annoyed with Ayase for not understanding certain aspects of her hobby. Kyosuke then goes shopping with Kirino and Saori to look for gift ideas and comes across a cosplay contest that offers a rare Meruru figurine as the grand prize. Ayase initially objects to the idea of cosplaying, but they manage to convince her model friend, Kanako Kirusu, to cosplay as Meruru for the contest. They attend the contest, but Kyosuke becomes worried when he sees Kirino in the audience, and he has to ensure that Kanako does not spot her. Despite her initial disgust towards the otaku fans, Kanako manages to put on a winning performance and win the prize. She admits that she had fun while doing it, which surprises everyone. Sometime later, Kyosuke invites Manami over to help him make lunch after bumping into her at the supermarket. However, Kirino is unhappy with Manami's visit and comes up with various ways to sabotage her stay, including giving her difficult tasks and setting up embarrassing traps in Kyosuke's room. Saori then hosts a personal harem party for Kyosuke where she, Kirino, and Kirino dress up as maids. Kirino reveals a manga with perverted characters based on Kyosuke and Kirino, and she even starts calling him Ni-san, which angers Kirino. Kyosuke gets upset with Kirino's behavior and has an outburst until she gives him a gift, revealing it to be one of her favorite sister complex-themed games. The next morning, Kyosuke is surprised by Kirino's polite behavior towards him and later gets asked to buy her an eroge game launching at midnight. Kyosuke goes to Akihabara and meets his classmate Kuhei, who is buying a yaoi game for his sister. Meanwhile, Kirino calls Kirino to talk about the cat ears she is making and hints that she may change how she calls Kyosuke. After Kyosuke returns with the game, Kirino asks him to play with her. Kyosuke then learns that Kirino plans to leave for America in the morning for track and field training but becomes disappointed when he finds out she did not tell him beforehand. When Kirino doesn't get the reaction she expected from Kyosuke, she becomes angry and beats him up. The next day, Kirino decides not to leave and tells Kyosuke that he still owes her more favors, making him very happy.